Welcome, everyone. Welcome. There's a lot of echo in here, but welcome, everyone. Thank you, Carol. Carol McElwain, always organizing us. Thank you, Carol. You're the best. Welcome, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. I'm Shane Hedges, and I really could not be more honored to be with you today as we dedicate this magnificent statue in honor of the trailblazing Governor Judy Martz. I cherish every single moment that I get to spend under this big sky, and I want you to know that my heart is full of gratitude for the invitation to be with you today. I would tell you that Judy would love to be here today. She loved all of you so much. But we all know that as a woman of deep and abiding faith, that she is here today with us, watching over us. And without a doubt, she's making sure that I don't say anything that I shouldn't. So I'm grateful for that. I know above all that Judy would want to start today with a prayer, so it is my privilege to welcome the Senate Chaplain, Pastor Steve Bostrom.
Please pray with me. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, thank you for creating Judy Martz. When she said, "I am as common a person as you'll find," but ordinary people can do extraordinary things if they're prepared for it. And Lord, how you prepared Judy for life. She said that coming to know you was the turning point in her life. She said, "Christ changed my life, and I encourage others to find peace in their hearts through him." Jesus, if she were here today, she would encourage us to trust you. And Jesus, you know such faith took her through life, the Olympics, being governor of Montana, even pancreatic cancer. Once while she and her sister Penny were having hot dogs at Costco, I asked her how she dealt with the pain of pancreatic cancer. Judy told me, "I mostly have pain at night. I think the Lord wants it to be between him and me." Lord, you know that took my breath away, but she was radiant. And so, Lord, now you have called your humble, radiant servant leader to heaven and given her a statue on earth. And what a statue. Could it be, Lord, that as people look at her statue, they will ponder your grace and truth in her life and even in their own? May it be so. I pray in the name of Jesus, the one who loved Judy and gave his life for her. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. So nearly a quarter of a century ago, on Tuesday, January 2nd, 2001, in this very spot, it was a crisp 10-degree January morning, Judy Martz stepped up to the plate and the Bible to become the first woman to ever assume the office of governor of Montana. She stood eyeball to eyeball with Chief Justice Carla Gray, together becoming the first and still only two women to ever conduct that ceremony. Carla, with her wonderfully raspy voice and that ever so slightly irascible intonation that always hinted that she might just want to say something naughty, but you just knew that she never would, administered Judy's oath that morning. But neither of those remarkable trailblazers, who had just cleared the path for all women to the most powerful jobs in state government, wanted the focus on their gender that morning. As Judy said that day, while certainly it is a milestone in our state's history, it should not be a celebration of historic firsts. For today is not about what Carla Gray or Judy Martz has accomplished. Today is about what we Montanans working together can do to make Montana a leader in the new economy. And then it was also in this very spot that we gathered just 7 years ago to celebrate the life of this remarkable woman and to say goodbye as she lay here in state. So it is fitting that we are gathered here in this spot once more to dedicate a permanent edifice to Judy's groundbreaking achievements that will inspire young people and especially young women throughout the ages as they visit this capital and reach for their own aspirations. There are so many people who deserve thanks and praise for leading us to this moment. First, to Senator Al Leshevsky for sponsoring the legislation that made this statue possible. Thank you. You're going to hear from Al in a bit, but until then, we really appreciate your vision and leadership. To the committee who selected the talented artist Gareth Curtis, who you will also hear from today, thank you for your countless devotion to this endeavor. Public servants, Roger Hagan, Senator Doug Carey, and Senator Dianne Stans, you've all served the people of Montana with distinction, and thank you for going above and beyond to also serve on this committee. The late, wonderful Mark Cole, who is up watching with Judy, no doubt, played a pivotal role and deserves recognition posthumously for not only his leadership on the committee, but for his lifetime of friendship and counsel to Judy. Thank you as well to Judy's dear friend and constant source of advice and laughter, Dan Rostad. She adored you, and we are so grateful for all that you have done. Judy's older brother, Joe Morstein, and his wonderful wife, Marilyn, who was such a wonderful and supportive friend to Judy throughout her life. You all gave so much to make this day possible, not only for helping select the artist, but to raise the money. So thank you, Joe and Marilyn, for everything. The wonderful Ralph Cuney, the grandson of the indomitable Governor Tim and Betty Babcock, thank you for all that you have contributed, Ralph. And then lastly, there is the talented Becky Eicher, who is a highly accomplished artist in her own right. Thank you so much for your insights in creating such a beautiful and lasting work of art. So thank you, all of the committee members, and let's give them a round of applause. We should also thank today, and I promise we're not going to do this, all 400 people who contributed to make this statue possible, but we obviously can't do that because of time, but each of you has made this day possible, and thank you for your generous commitment to Judy's legacy. But I can't move on without at least acknowledging two people who were most committed to ensuring the funds to reach this day. When Judy was elected governor, Dave Galt was over at the Montana Motor Carriers Association just living the dream and minding his own business. Well, I take that back. Dave never, ever minds his own business. But we asked him to serve with Judy as the head of the Department of Transportation. And luckily for the citizens of Montana, he said yes. And so in an administration full of shining stars, he was a bright one. And we could not be more grateful for the countless hours you have given to make this day possible. Dave, can you stand and be thanked? Thank you, Dave. I have come to believe that the hardest job in Montana isn't governor or chief justice or budget director. It is first lady, or in Harry's case, first gentleman. One, because it is an unpaid position, and two, because people always have to follow in the shadow of the late Betty Babcock, Montana's most notorious and generous first lady. Tim and Betty's love of history, their dedication to the preservation of the past, and their adoration of this state was passed on to their daughter, Lorna Cuney, who gives and gives and gives to this wonderful place. Thank you, Lorna, for the countless hours that you have given to this statue, but also for your years of loyal friendship to Judy, as I have told you over all of these years. And where's Lorna? Lorna, you can't hide. She's always been a rock star, and I want to give you a little advice when you're dealing with Lorna. If you're ever in trouble, apologize immediately and preferably with a banana split in hand. And if you knew how many banana splits that I have shared with Lorna over the years, you would be embarrassed for me. So, now that you know who led us to this day, it is time to hear for the people who have gathered here to make sure that this day forever lives in the lives of Montana history. I could not be more honored to kick off today's festivities than by introducing and welcoming Montana's current governor and the man whom Judy greatly, greatly admired, Governor Greg Gianforte.
Good afternoon, and thank you, and welcome to the People's House. It's great that you're all here. Judy would be pleased to have the house full with her friends. It's great. I'm really honored to join you today to honor her life and legacy. It's just a tremendous contribution to our state. It's great to be also amongst so many people that have been part of important milestones through the history of Montana, and to be together to mark this milestone in memory of Montana's first and only female governor. Judy truly embodied the grit of the Montana spirit, fearless, humble, courageous, faithful, and strong. And that spirit shined through her commitment to making Montana the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And you all know this, but Judy had a huge heart. Everyone who interacted with her knew immediately that she cared for you. Every time I called Judy, she was always concerned about me, even while she fought cancer. Nearly every time we spoke on the phone, she would end the call by asking to pray for me, for our state, and for our country. Then, and I remember it like it was yesterday, she would lower her voice and with humble words of a woman devoted to service and fueled by her faith, her prayers always moved me. And I wear, as many of us do, this turtle pin today in her memory. May we never forget Judy Martz and her contribution to our state. And I know she said this to many of you. You don't move forward if you don't stick your neck out. That's what the turtle's about. And we can remember that today. It could help all of us. I pray this statue serves as a lasting legacy of her impact as a trailblazer for women and for girls in our state. An honor to her commitment to the treasure state and a treasured memory for all that were touched by her leadership, her mentorship, and her friendship. I look forward to hearing the stories and memories that will forever be cherished by those who are here today, and sharing that legacy with all Montanans and visitors to our state capital now and forever. This will be a permanent legacy to Governor Judy Martz. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Governor, very much. In a family chock full of cool kids, two of the coolest are here today, and I get the privilege of welcoming them both. No matter how much I aspire to be as cool and as decent and as generous an older brother to my siblings as Bugsy was to his little sister Judy, I never seem to measure up. Joe Morstein is not only a great brother to Judy, but he's also one of the most extraordinary people that I know. And Judy's son-in-law, Abe, who came into the family and fit like a hand in a fine leather glove, developed a truly endearing relationship with his mother-in-law. She was very proud to call him a member of the Morstein and Martz clans, and I am proud to introduce both Joe Morstein and Abe Boomer.
This certainly isn't a dream that I always had, but I'm honored to be here to speak with the Morstein family on this special day. Judy was the third of my 5 amazing sisters. Judy was an Olympic athlete, a great partner in business, and in her life to her husband, Harry. She was a dedicated mother to her children, Stacy and Justin, and an adoring grandmother to Remy and Rogan. There were very few things she set out to do that she did not do with all her heart. She was passionate about this state and the people who call Montana home. I know she would be incredibly grateful for all the time and effort and energy that has gone into creating this beautiful, we'll see it in a minute, statue. It would delight her to know that she's getting a permanent place in the Capitol building and in Montana's history. In the Gospel of Luke, the 12th chapter, the 48th verse, it's written that no one whom much is given, to whom much is given, much will be required. And even more to men entrust much, they will require and demand all the more. Judith Helen Morstein Martz walked those expectations out in ways that have encouraged many of the rest of us to inspire to do the same. Way to go, Jude.
Our family would like to extend our greatest thanks to everyone who made this possible. This is an unbelievable honor, and it's just hard to describe how amazing it is to have all these people come together. And sorry about that. Usually volume isn't an issue for me, but apparently is today. So thank you so much for everyone who contributed and helped out, and again, thank you for all being here today. People were Judy's passion. She loved helping people in any way possible. She ran for governor to help the people of Montana. She won because of the people that she helped and inspired across the state. And she retired so she could spend more time with the people she loved the most, her family and her 2 grandchildren, Remy and Rogan. Judy had an unbelievable servant's heart. If you needed help, Judy was there with work gloves. A broken down car on the side of the highway was an opportunity, and Judy never missed an opportunity to help. And she would always dive in and just help out whoever. It always made Stacy a little bit nervous. She never really knew if it was, maybe a lunatic from Plentywood who steals pencils. You just never know if who that would be, but it always worked out just fine. Which, ironically enough, fast forward to yesterday, we're broken down on the side of the highway. We've got the alternators out, which means that there's no electricity, and we've got 2 Gen Zers with dwindling cell phone batteries, and we're probably about an hour away from bad things happening. Here comes a wonderful lady in the spirit of Judy Martz. Her name was Tempe Smith, and her daughter showed up. They rearranged everything within the car, took our family to the hotel, and just dove right in. So again, it was kind of interesting coming here that, again, the spirit of Judy Martz helping out was right there with us. And there's so many different things that she's done, and she said, everybody's got the turtle pin, so obviously most of us know that, turtle only moves forward when its neck is stuck out. The other favorite quote that she would always have is, pull your chair up to the table. Become involved, pull your chair up. The one that she read at most graduations was called Winning is Giving. Winning is giving your best self away. Winning is serving with grace every day. You'll know that you've won when your friends say it's true. I like who I am when I'm around you. You look for the best in others you see, and you help us become who we're trying to be. Winning is helping someone who's down. It's sharing a smile instead of a frown. It's giving your children a hug by the fire and sharing the values and dreams that inspire. It's giving your parents the message, I care. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for being so fair. Winners are willing to give more than they get. Their favors are free. You're never in debt. Winning is giving 100%. It's paying your taxes, your dues, your rent. It's trying and doing, not crying and stewing. Winners respect every color and creed. They share and they care for everyone's need. The losers keep betting that winning is getting. But there's one of God's laws that they keep forgetting. And this is the law that you can live and believe. The more that you give, the more you'll receive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I haven't heard that in a long time. It feels like I'm home now. Yeah. When Judy was governor, John Tester was a state senator from Big Sandy. He had a calm demeanor, a common-sense Montana approach to the legislative process, and was a reliable consensus builder that worked across the aisle. He is now Montana's senior senator in the United States Senate, and I'm pleased to welcome his field representative, Amanda Casey, to read a letter from the senator.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces here. So, a message from Senator Tester. Hello, and thank you for allowing me to share a few words. I'd like to start by thanking all of you being here today and for playing a role in recognizing the life and legacy of Governor Judy Martz. I had the honor of getting to know Governor Martz when I was serving in the state legislature. She was a kind, genuine person, and she treated everyone with respect, regardless of where they were from or what they believed in. As our first and only female governor, Judy Martz remains an important figure in our state's history. Her legacy is one of service and love for state and country, and I am proud to see her contributions to our state enshrined in our Capitol building here today. Her leadership has made a lasting impact on this state and on this country, and for that I am grateful. This statue will guarantee that her service is properly recognized and her story is preserved. Thank you again for honoring Judy and for inviting me to be part of this special day. Sincerely, Senator John Tester. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Senator Steve Daines was first elected to public office as a representative and later as Montana's junior senator long after Judy was governor. But her admiration for him and his service as a fifth-generation Montanan ran deep. Please welcome his field representative, Eliza McGoughlin, to read a letter from the senator.
Dear friends, thank you for the opportunity to share a few words with you as we gather to honor the life and work of the 22nd governor for the state of Montana, Judy Martz. I'd like to say a special thanks to each person who played a role in ensuring that Governor Martz be recognized with such a fitting tribute to her legacy serving Montanans. Governor Martz was a trailblazer as she made history when she became Montana's first female lieutenant governor in 1996, and again 4 years later as she was elected Montana's first female governor. She led the charge in providing monumental tax relief for folks across the Treasure State and championed initiatives to drive economic development. Governor Martz was known for her compassion, dedication, faith, and service. And I'm proud to see her legacy be permanently enshrined in our state's Capitol building. It is an honor to serve as your United States Senator. God bless, Steve Daines.
Thank you, Eliza. Judy worked extensively with then Montana's Congressman Denny Rehberg at a time when she was governor because she understood that Washington could have big impacts on life back at home. Today, Montana is fortunate to once again have two representatives in Congress, both of whom are in D.C. for session. So Sonny Capice and Randy Bogdan are here to represent Congressman Zinke and Congressman Rosendale. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sonny Capice. I'm District Director for Congressman Zinke, and the following was inserted into the United States Congressional Record. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize the former governor of Montana, Judy Martz. Governor Martz is having her statue unveiled at the Montana State Capitol this month, and I want to highlight the incredible legacy that Governor Martz has left in our state. Judy Martz was born July 28, 1943 in Big Timber, Montana. left an indelible mark on her state's history. Raised by ranching parents, she embodied the spirit of the American West. Her journey from speed skating champion to Montana's first female governor is a testament to her resilience and leadership. Judy attended Butte High School, graduating in 1961. Her athletic prowess was evident early on, earning her a spot on the 1963 U.S. World Speed Skating Team, and later representing the nation in the 1964 Winter Games in Innsbruck, Austria. Beyond the ice rink, her ranch upbringing also led her to claim the title of Miss Rodeo Montana 1962. In 1965, Judy married Harry Martz, and together they operated a garbage disposal business in Butte. They raised 2 children, Stacy and Justin. Judy's commitment to her community was unwavering. She served as the vice chair of the St. James Hospital Board of Directors and president of the Butte Chamber of Commerce. From 1989 to 1995, Judy worked as a field rep for U.S. Senator Conrad Burns. In 1996, Governor Mark Racicot appointed her as lieutenant governor, making her the first woman to hold that office in Montana. In 2000, she ran for governor, partnering with the Honorable Carl Oates. Despite being outspent by her opponent, Judy took the oath of office on January 2nd, 2001, becoming Montana's first and only female governor. During her term, Judy focused on election, economic development, and education. Her impact extended beyond politics. She served on the board of Maternal Life International, University of Montana Western, and the Big Sky State Games. Sadly, in 2014, she was diagnosed with cancer. And on October 17, 2017, Montana lost a trailblazer and a dedicated public servant. Judy Martz's legacy lives on, a woman who broke barriers, served her state, and inspired generations. Mr. Speaker, my esteemed colleagues, I ask you to join me in recognizing the great legacy of the late Judy Martz. For God and country, Ryan Zinke.
Good afternoon. I'm Randy Bogdan. I'm with Congressman Rosendale's office. The advantage, disadvantage of going forth for all the legislative, they've said everything that I had on my piece of paper. I'm going to narrow mine down a little bit here. From Miss Rodeo Montana to Olympic skater to governor of the great state, Judy has inspired thousands of Montanans. Her selfless service in the state and the various organizations shows how much she loved this great state. Today's dedication of the statue is well-deserved and will stand for many years for generations to enjoy and appreciate. Congratulations to Judy and the entire Martz family. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Those of us who spent part of our formative years among the amber waves of grain of the Great Plains must stick together. So now that the Attorney General is from Culbertson, as we say in Plentywood, it's not the end of the world, but you sure can see it from there. Please welcome Attorney General Austin Knudsen.
Good afternoon, and yes, you can see it from there. Thank you. It's an honor to be here today. Thanks to everyone who helped bring this statute to fruition. Governor Martz certainly earned her place to be memorialized here in the Montana Capitol alongside other Montana pioneers. Not only was she Montana's first female governor, but her policies and dedication to keeping Montana a great place to live and raise a family left a lasting impact on our state. I was in college during Governor Martz's time in office, which was coincidentally also around the time I had my, political awakening, if you will. I always appreciated and remember Governor Martz for her support of FFA. My wife Christy and I were both FFA kids, and we always look forward to hearing her speak every year at the state FFA convention. And while I did not begin my political career in the Montana House of Representatives until after Governor Martz left office, I admired her economic policies and the growth they brought to our state. She got spending under control. She fixed the state's budget, and she pulled Montana out of a deficit. She also made it clear that Montana was open for business, which developed the workforce and brought better paying jobs into Montana. There's no doubt that one of her biggest challenges as governor came in the days, weeks, and months following the September 11th, 2001 attacks. After the attacks, she turned her attention to public safety. For the safety of Montanans, our state's leaders could not be left vulnerable in the future should our nation be attacked again closer to home. Governor Martz played an instrumental role in establishing the Executive Protection Detail inside of the Montana Highway Patrol, which provides protection to our governors today. As Attorney General, I assure you that Montana Highway Patrol troopers assigned to the governor's Executive Protection Detail are ready to act at a moment's notice to protect the governor and the capital area should the unthinkable happen and our country is attacked again. I'm glad I was able to witness and learn from Governor Martz's distinguished career. She left a lasting legacy for the state of Montana. Thank you again to everyone who made the statue possible. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, General. One of Judy's favorite responsibilities as governor was serving on the Land Board, the committee of the top 5 office holders in the state who work together to plan and execute strategies for maximizing the benefits of the state public lands. At the time, she was the only woman on the Land Board, and it became very apparent quickly that she brought a unique and needed perspective to those deliberations. Today, 2 of the 5 members of the Land Board are women who have blazed their own trails, and I could not be more thrilled to introduce to you Montana's Secretary of State, Christy Jacobson.
It was early in my career when I first met Governor Judy Martz. She met me with that big, broad smile and warm eyes that literally danced with excitement for life and for being in a position to bring goodness and God's will to the people of Montana. I was aware of her theme, her motto in life of "Behold the turtle, he only moves forward when his neck is stuck out." Like many other people, I share her passion for life and living the best life with the desire to contribute to society in the best way possible. Her motto is deeply embedded in my heart. I relate to Governor Martz. She stuck her neck out when people told her she couldn't win. She did that time and time again in her life, and each time she came out on top. She proved to herself her own value, and she praised God and gave thanks to him each time she was victorious. I admired her, and she inspired me. She taught me that I have value, talents, and integrity that are worth growing and sharing to help make Montana and our homes better places. I'm thankful for her inspiration and for the life of service to her fellow man, and her God that inspired me as I go down this chosen path. Like Governor Martz, I always want to remember that I am where I am by the grace of God, and that I should be forever grateful and keep moving in the direction he sends me. I think of Governor Martz's competitive spirit and her Olympic experience in Austria in 1964. I think how the unfortunate fall that she took in the 1,500-meter speed skating race affected the rest of her life. She taught us in that moment to remain focused and not let distractions prevent us from crossing the finish line. That we are human and that sometimes we fall. She got up and finished that race in 15th place, still higher than many of the other people she was competing against. This is a great lesson to always get back on our skates to finish the job and finish it well. It's fitting and deserving that Governor Martz has a statue placed in our beautiful Montana Capitol building, and that she be remembered and celebrated not only as Montana's first female governor, but for all of her accomplishments. She brought common sense to the halls of the Capitol. She was faithful and wise in carrying out her responsibilities, and she shared her great faith and inspirational life with all of us. Governor Martz was a person I am honored to celebrate. May this statute be a constant reminder to all of us to live our best lives, to stick out our necks and make a difference, and to be a blessing to our families, our citizens, and our Montana. We love you, Governor Judy Martz. Well done, good and faithful servant.
So many years have passed since Judy was elected governor that you could be forgiven for not remembering that she became Montana's first woman governor by defeating the sitting state auditor at the time. He was an extremely formidable opponent, which made her victory all the more improbable. And I suspect that she would view Montana's current auditor in a much different light, not only because they share complementary approaches, but because he's also incredibly fun to be around. Please welcome Troy Downing.
Thank you all. It's an honor to be here, and seeing such a crowd really makes me smile. What a great tribute. I'm going to start with a little story. A little over 2 decades ago, I was at mission qual training at Kirtland Air Force Base, and my kids were going to be in a talent show. So I took a couple of days of leave off and flew back to Montana, and Governor Martz was there. And I didn't have time to change my uniform. I was still in my flight suit. And she sought me out and came up to thank me for my service. But more interesting, she embraced me like we were old friends. And she spoke to me like we were old friends. And I remember thinking to myself, this is a person who cares about other people. And that really stuck with me and sticks with me today. And I'm delighted I was able to have my first contact with Governor Martz in that way. And I'm just going to say this is a great opportunity here. I thank you all for being here. I thank the legislature for bringing this. I thank all of the folks, the organizations and people who've sponsored this, because this is not only a fitting memorial, but this is a lasting inspiration. I mean, you start from the beginning. Just being an Olympian is an incredible inspiration to others. Being the first female lieutenant governor, incredible inspiration. Being the first and so far only female governor of the great state of Montana, what a great inspiration. And so I think about that inspiration for next generations, and I'm so happy to be a part of this. I'm honored, and I just want to say thank you all for being here and be part of this, and God bless you all. And this is one last thing. This shows that in the great state of Montana and these great United States of America, if you show up and you work hard and you work smart, you can do anything. And let's make sure we hang on to that. So thank you and God bless.
Our next speaker needs no introduction, as he is the man who brought this entire endeavor to life. And I could not be more thrilled to welcome the sponsor of Senate Bill 275 that authorized the placement of Judy's statue here. Welcome, Senator. Is he coming? Yeah. He might be delayed. I thought I saw him earlier. No? All right. Well, he's a wonderful man, and we thank him for making this day possible. Judy was so many things to so many people, and artist Gareth Curtis demonstrated extraordinary skill and dedication in working to understand Judy, who she was, what motivated her, and how she inspired so many Montanans. You will see shortly that he dramatically captured her essence so that future generations who walk these hallowed halls will be able to know the same Judy that we all knew and loved. It is my distinct privilege to welcome the artist who toiled over this statue and to bring Judy to life for the ages. And I would be remiss before letting him come share with you how he arrived at today without saying that his mother, Auburn, was one of Judy's inspirations, and she absolutely adored your mother. And so thank you for all the time and effort you have put in for the whole family. Welcome.
Oh, it's such a great honor to be here. Thank you for selecting me for the project. You know, as an artist, I spend many hours by myself in my studio. Looking at photos. Judy and my mom are good friends, and a lot of the photos I have are of them together. And this is a special project from my heart.
So I have met or known 8 of the last 10 governors dating back to Governor Babcock, each of them uniquely Montanan, all of them dedicated to service, some of them serious, some of them fun, some of them unforgettable. Mark Racicot is all of those things and more. He made history by selecting Judy from an extensive list of highly qualified Montanans from all walks of life to be his lieutenant governor, helping her become the first woman to ever hold that office. And what a team that they made. Near the end of her fight with cancer, Judy and I were sitting on her porch, reflecting on her life. And I asked her what it was like to serve with Mark, and she said 5 words that I will remember until the day I die. She said that he was a master of his craft. Mark was not only an astronomically popular governor, he was a long and loyal friend to Judy and just an incredibly exceptional human being. And I know that you will join me in giving a warm welcome to the man today who knew Judy best. Please welcome Governor Mark Racicot.
So many stories over such a significant period of time in the lives of our 2 families, Judy's and mine, who first were introduced to each other in Rocker, Montana. We went down to Rocker to talk to our families jointly about whether or not they endorsed, hopefully with great enthusiasm, our teaming up to run for office and to serve in the offices of governor and lieutenant governor. I'm happy to say it's only the only time in my life where the verdict was unanimous. And as a consequence, we were intertwined ever after that particular moment. I was, however, I'd have to share with you parenthetically, somewhat concerned about Judy's driving habits. She offered to take me for a ride in her red Corvette, and I had an obligation at Camp Make a Dream, and so she drove me to Camp Make a Dream, and thank God we made it back. She was confident that we were protected. St. Christopher was looking over us, and so the speed limit was really an item of secondary concern. We spent a lot of time together and roaming these halls. She had a lot to do with the reconstruction of this building. She was here every day that was ongoing, as was I. And as a consequence of that, we gather here today not only to reflect upon and to observe this wonderful work of art memorializing her life, but also we're gathered in a place where she spent a lot of time, and you can still feel her walking through the halls of this building, talking to virtually everybody in it. She was an extraordinary woman and leader by any measure. She was indefatigable, absolutely incapable of being tired. She would take off for a swing through the eastern part of the state and visit all the high points along the way, Ekalaka, Terry, Medicine Lake, Plentywood, every single county in the state of Montana. Every year, Judy visited to make certain that we were doing all that we possibly could to listen to one another. She was eternally optimistic, an exceptional athlete, as we all know. I can remember one time talking about athletic competition, and I described for Judy my career playing for my father. And she said to me, "It sounds to me like you were not big, but you were slow." It was entirely accurate on both counts, to be honest. She was a dedicated spouse to Harry. Their love affair was quite obvious, and we had the opportunity to observe that on more than one occasion. She was a dedicated businesswoman. She was a loving mother to Stacy and Justin, and she was a beloved member. Interesting, and I choose that word precisely, a beloved member of the community of Butte. This good Republican who seemed to get along with virtually everyone, and as a consequence was admired and respected by everyone, including all of those dogged Democrats in Butte. I mentioned that she was an indefatigable public servant. She was also an unselfish and loyal colleague, and a faithful friend to so many of us all gathered here today. And by faithful, I mean not only loyal, but in her eyes, with the connection we had in the Lord himself, was how we should spend our lives. She never held a grudge. She had strong opinions, but never were they in any way directed in a way that could ultimately end up severing a relationship. She also, I think, enkindled friendships with people virtually every part of the state, a countless number of people across the state of Montana, all of whom felt they were Judy Martz's best friend. So it is entirely fitting and proper that we set about today to honor Judy's memory, to express our gratitude for her life and for her service, willingly given to the people of Montana, and to remind ourselves, and those who come after, importantly, of the tireless effort she made, of the unbelievably important values she lived, and how she served the public good and the people of Montana every single day. So when we look at this replica of Judy and understand her life and embrace her values, we cannot help together but succeed in all of our endeavors directed to improve the lives that we live. So thank you very much.
So I have to go back. I live in the swamp now, and I'm out of practice. So you have to forgive me, because we have another wonderful speaker here that I turned the page too quickly, and I'm so sorry. And let me just find the spot. But people sometimes forget how differently the public treats female public servants from their male counterparts. And just behind the stairway stands a statue of another pioneering woman, Montana's Jeanette Rankin, who became the first woman to ever serve in Congress. When this lifelong pacifist was the sole vote against our entry into World War II, she was chased by an unruly mob of reporters into a phone booth where she barricaded herself until help arrived. Judy was never holed up in a phone booth, but her road was rough, and it was often filled with belittling and diminishing words of those who questioned her intellect, her abilities, and her motivation. But like Jeanette before her, she persisted, and that same kind of persistence is seen in dedicated public servants like our next speaker, Montana Superintendent of Public Instruction, Elsie Arnson. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wow, to have my name associated with Judy Martz is a pinnacle of achievement at this point. One of the things that I want to bring into this conversation is about being a wife and being a mother, being a grandmother, and also being the leader of a great state as ours in Montana. You put all those together, and I know in my heart she has done what I have done, put our children first, put our future generations first, in her time as governor, as her time as a servant in Butte, and her time as a servant, of course, to her family. So blessings to the families, blessings to our future families, and of course, in Montana, we are the treasure state, so our treasures are our families. Thank you.
So, thank you, Elsie. Dave just got a call. Al is okay. His daughter has gone into labor, and so we have a good reason for why he wasn't here, and hopefully we've got another Republican coming soon. So, with all of that, it's time for the unveiling of this statue. Governor Gianforte, you can clap for that. It's going to be hard because there's so many of you who came to celebrate this great day, but Governor Gianforte is going to lead the procession down the hall to Judy's statue, and we'll see you down there.
Are we ready? 5, 4,